All right, hello and welcome to Science Sunday, and today is February 23rd, 2020, and Tinker is very excited. Well, you have to go over there to get it, Tinker. Today's bits are dog kibble because I forgot to go to the store. So we are going to continue working on the Vera Rubin Galaxy, otherwise known as UGC 2885. Feel free to ask me questions during this whole process. I think when we left off, I think everything's lined up. And in fact, I'm not going to touch alignment anymore because that's just dangerous. And I have every desire to not screw it up anymore. Okay, so I think I got everything where I need to be on my screen. And yeah, this is what we got. Zoom in a bit. I did look up feathering, and I'm torn between feathering and just, there's part of me that's like, F it. Let's just leave it how it is. Let me just leave it how it is. Or I can try to edit out the, by edit out, I mean just literally really zoom in and crop the black lines out. So Sammy asked, how many life is in that galaxy? We think we talked recently-ish about is it Drake's equation? I don't know how many stars are in this galaxy, but I bet you if we, if we looked up the Drake equation, we could get a start on how many stars. So what I think I'm going to do is I might actually just, I can either select it or I can try to, where's the eraser tool? Or I can try to erase it. I'm not sure what smoothing does. That is not what I want smoothing to do. I really have no idea what smoothing does. Oh, here's opacity. Okay. And it has invented Twitter. Yeah, I'm thinking opacity is what I want, but right now I want to get out these black bits entirely. Maybe I want a smaller brush. I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, there's a better way to do it, and at this point I'm just like, well, this is how I'm doing it, y'all. This is just how I'm doing it, y'all. I think this is the most time I've put into a Hubble image. And I mean, I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. It's just kind of a little weird. All right, so let me turn on. Okay, so the problem is right here. Yeah, it has been a learning experience. I'm not upset about it. It's just, I'm not at all upset about it. I knew this was going to be difficult. Oh, thank you, Veronica! And make it rain! Tinker's like, but where's mine? There you go. The sad thing is, even after the dogs have gotten all these treats, and by treats I mean dog food, they will still be like, come dinner time, they will be like, I am starving. It doesn't matter. It does not matter that I have fed them. So it doesn't even matter at dinner time how much food I put in their bowl, as long as I put food in their bowl. Which is just weird. I could give them next to nothing and they would be happy. They just want fed when they know it's time to get fed. I'm thinking that looks pretty clean. Oh, maybe not. But we're getting there. We are definitely getting there, and I think this is a better use of the eraser than trying to go through and do the one thing, because we are, at this point, we really are working with individual pixels. I think so too. I don't trust myself. Oh, actually that makes it 1000% easier. So I can just like erase this star. Huh. Okay, okay. Me. I don't trust myself. Also me. Wow, this is easier. And set history on a lot of steps. Shoot, how do I do that? Where is history? History options. That does not allow me to Alright, real talk. How do I set history for like a gazillion actions? That's probably in preferences, isn't it? That's to undo. I'm trying to edit preferences. History log. I can just erase this star. Yeah, but it's cool though. Well then, performance. Scratch discs. That should actually be to D, not C. C is my C is my solid state. Okay, well I don't know how to set history to a lot of steps, but I think this is pretty cool. Alright, so now make sure that the Alright, I really have to just turn that off to find the seam because I fixed it so well. Just kind of erase the seam a little. Thank you, Sammy. That is the cool thing doing this with you guys. I learn a lot. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have erased that star. This is pretty cool. Because I was, no joke, I was looking at feathering and I'm like, ugh, how do I do feathering? How do I combine these images? I didn't even think about, you know, how do people create panos? Because when I create panos, I have when I've done it, I've had a whole 360 camera setup and I've had very expensive software figure it out for me. Infinity Gauntlet not required. Yes! Just erase this star. The fact fact that I'm just like, I'm gonna erase this star, and this star, and this star, it feels a little wrong, I'm not gonna lie. Tinker, you're not getting more dog food. This is not happening, Tink. I know, you have to wait. Begging does not look good on you. That star did nothing to me. It was just in the way and it looked funky. And I just appreciate the fact that I can be like, oh, I don't want you here. You're just gone now. Yes, I am totally the Star Destroyer and I'm loving every minute of it. Mwahahahahahaha. When Susie goes to upload this later, I feel like she needs to put something in the description like, Annie becomes like Thanos. Annie embraces her inner Thanos. Oops, no. Come back here. Because I totally am embracing my inner Thanos at this point. I don't even know why I'm working this far out to the edge of the image, because this is going to get cropped. Alright. Let's zoom back out. Oh, wow. Wow, look at that. That looks so much smoother. It really does. Alright, bye, star. Do you remember a way to get multiple views? Like, I can have a really zoomed in view and then more of a not zoomed in view? Because it would be cool to be able to have the zoomed in view and the not zoomed in view up at the same time. But I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a thing? Yeah, the galaxy is totally peeking at us. And this line just doesn't want to go away. Yeah, like, I figure that it's gotta be a thing. It's gotta be a thing. I just don't know how to do it. Alright. So other than right here, which I can't fix for whatever reason through erasing. See, I know it's a thing on like Blender, but I don't know if it's a thing on Photoshop. See if a little wider will, I don't think it'll help. So that might have to be fixed with the clone tool. Just trying to get the obvious lines out. There might be alien life in this galaxy. It is hard to say. There is totally a whole equation for it called Drake's equation. And there's been an updated one too, because I think Drake's equation relied too much on radio signals. Oh wow. You can barely tell that's two images. Thank you, Sammy. Seriously, thank you so much. I'm very excited now. Because my, oh, F it, I'll just do it this way was like kind of a half joke, but This works out well. Seriously, thank you. Now we get to do it on this weird one. So. Yeah. Well, on this one, like, I've turned on this bottom layer, which is just... This bottom layer is weird anyway. And... Like, I'm not sure why it's not as sharp as the top. I know it's because I stretched it and all this other stuff. But, yeah, I mean, this one's gonna be way more obvious. There's no two ways about it. So this might be a case where some other magic blending comes into play. But let's get rid of the obvious, super obvious edge. And the data, when I downloaded it, it did come out skewed. So I'm not entirely too sure what happened. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me zoom out to make sure I'm... I wish it would have when I turn on and off layers. Okay, at this point, there's that. Okay, so eraser, we're gonna set the opacity to, let's set it to 75%, because I can always go over it more, and let's find a really obvious spot. Like, this is really obvious. And even though I know it's still going to have a line there, this is mostly to see how well it works. Because I can go back over with the tool again. And the opacity setting probably works better on where it's obvious, but not like, here's a big black line obvious. Like right here is probably a good use for it. Bye, star. And the star 2 is going, and that star is also going. I might enjoy this a bit too much. I have discovered the power of Thanos. Just built an intergalactic highway along the line. I mean, it would be a good spot. It would hide it. I mean, if... I really don't work in Photoshop. Don't start. I really don't work in Photoshop other than this. It's for the dogs! And make it rain! Tinker's like, but what about me? Over there, Tink. I'm telling you, come 5 o'clock, she's still gonna be like, where's my dinner? And I'm gonna have to put 3 pieces of kibble in her. Because I didn't exactly measure this out. So I'm just gonna have to put 3 pieces of kibble in her thing to just make her happy. Or they'll completely forget. They're not going to forget. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? They're not going to forget. erase the line, which is still going to be seen. Because this is how we roll. Oh, that must be into the other image. Yep. That's into the other image. All right. I mean, it's a little better. I mean, obvious line is still obvious. But we knew that was going to be the case. Erase that. I get too much joy out of just removing stars. Next, use the airbrush and create new stars. Zero Skater says, why did my girlfriend just turn to ash and blow away? It was me. It was all me. It was all me. Bye, star. I am enjoying this way too much. This is probably beyond where the image will actually go. Let me zoom out to double check. Nope. Nope, this is still part of the image. That star has lived for millions of years, but it's Annie's picture. So bye, star. Yeah, exactly. Like this one. Bye, star. Part of me actually feels bad because it was in both images, so we'll let that star live. You get to live. That one was also in both images. You also get to live. I wonder if I can do a like filter blur on just one part of the image instead of doing it to all the images. Like if I can just do it to one layer, because that might get this to look more like this. I swear I used the same settings when I exported them, but apparently not. You know what, we'll leave that be, because the data still is there. This is hard because the data is there on both images. Just kind of erase the line. It's still going to be an obvious line. That star actually looks better from that layer. I don't know. It's one thing if the star isn't there on both layers, or if the data is not there on both layers. See, the data is there on both layers. All right, I will probably crop way out here, so it really doesn't matter. Bye, star. All right, let's zoom out, take a look at that. It's better. Obvious line is obvious, but it's better. And I either need to apply noise removal or sharpening. or both. And I don't know if I can do that to just individual layers. I guess now's the time to find out, huh? Also, save as. See, this is the 23rd. All right, bye, Sammy. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. I guess now is the time to figure out. Yeah, it is totally a save point. I guess now is the time to figure out if I can do. Because I don't know if that's an adjustment layer. Yeah, we can do that as an adjustment layer. Photo filter. Not that kind of photo filter. Get back under there. Layer. Come on. Layer mask, no. New adjustment layer. Gradient map, selective color, invert, posterize, not photo filter. See, we want to put a blur filter on here. Can I do that? And then on this layer, add the Gaussian blur. Oh, they can't do it on an empty layer. I don't know where it's looking at. I mean, it's probably worth a try. It wasn't a whole lot of a blur, I know. Oh, I could have also done filter, noise, dust and scratches. That might do the trick too. I think that's going to do the trick and make everything look kind of blurry, like the bottom is blurry. I feel like I need to write this down because I might forget it when I go back to do the other layers. So filter, noise, dust and scratches. What? Are my eyes just messing with me? I don't think it made enough of a difference. I make sure we have the correct layer selected. Noise despeckle? No. What you doing, Fluff? Reduce noise. The problem is because I'm looking at part of the image and it's not necessarily zooming into the correct part of the image. Okay, when I click preview, it does the preview over here. So let me move this window. The preview actually looks like it's adding noise. Which this is not what I want. This is not at all what I want. Yeah. Like it creates more noise. Wonder if sharpening this layer will help. No, that didn't seem to do anything. Oops. Why is it when I undo that layer, it's like... Sharpen edges? No. Smart sharpen? Trying to find where I want in the image to actually look at. Sharpening looks like it'll help a little. Remove Gaussian blur. Sharpening looks like it'll help a little, but not the way I want it to. Like, it's not going to be 100% as sharp as the other. And I think that was an issue in the formal image too. And I don't know how that was handled. There is a difference. It pulls out more stuff, and it makes this grainier. But I don't know. Fun with Photoshop. Fun with Photoshop. All right, we are just probably gonna just leave it be like that. Because I really don't know what to do. So let's continue on with just erasing, because erasing's fun, right? Right? Alright, so now we need to make sure we have that selected and zoom way, 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 way in by stars. And do the usual, let's get rid of the obvious line here. No, I want to keep those ones. Oops. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. Duh. I can make these more faint. I was thinking about color adding, and then I just realized that that's not a problem, because as long as I have something there. I was thinking I was working with different colors within the same layer. Yeah, I know, right? I haven't gone back into the fits file to be like, WTF is happening here? And when I exported these, I used all the same settings, and I'm beginning to think I shouldn't have, because the amount of noise in one image versus the amount of noise in the other image. Oh, there's stuff here. Heck yeah, there's stuff here. Come on. Let it shine through. Okay, not that much. So I might have to play with, no, they're taking, these were taken with the same camera. And the same filter. So the settings, I don't know how the settings would have been different. I have a feeling I might have to play with levels a bit to just get rid of some of this extra noise. Because there is a whole lot of just extra noise. Yeah, we'll leave you there. You are safe. Oh, I keep forgetting because I have the opacity set to whatever, that what I'm not necessarily seeing overlapping data. I'm just seeing other stars that just don't want to be erased. They don't want to go. All right, we're gonna up the opacity, because we're so far out that it really doesn't matter. Oops, that was too much. And I think, yeah, we're at the edge of the image. I know I'm killing entire star systems. I don't feel bad though. This line here is a chip gap from when other images were, from when the images were taken. And that's just a thing we're gonna have to deal with. This figure 8 thing is an artifact. So we're going to up the size of our eraser and just erase that whole thing out. And eventually we'll put something black here to eventually we'll put something black so we don't have to worry about that spot. And then I think I can just erase these two. But I think for getting rid of some of the noise, it's just gonna have to be a thing. Is there a mirror of it to the right? No. There is not. That's a galaxy. These are stars. When we crop, I am probably going to crop along this chip gap here, which is probably hard for you to see, but I can see it. And then we're going to probably crop further on down here. So I'll add a black background or something. I'm thinking to get rid of some of the noise, we're just gonna play with levels, because at this point I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, because I don't think denoising did anything. Noise, like, reduce noise. It has to find the image. And we have preview selected, so you can see the preview of it here in the image. It helps a little. Let's see about turning up the strength. Oh, I forgot to put preview back on. That's with it on 10. No. I know. See, I don't think the preview is working right. Or maybe it is. There's no there really aren't any JPEG artifacts. I think I just busted it. Alright, so we'll cancel that and we'll try it again. Alright, so we'll do blur, no, not blur, noise. Reduce noise. It is set to preview. F it, let's try it. I mean, no, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. And that's the beeping thing, reminding me that it's close to 2 o'clock. You know what? Median seems to work. No, look at median. This seems to do exactly what I want it to do. It removes the extra speckles and it smooths things out. it is not 1000% perfect. Probably up the radius a little more. But I think that works. Turn it back down to 2. That takes so much of an edge off. How did you just bungle a chicken? No, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but this is helping. Like, not quite what I was expecting, but it did more than what I wanted it to do, so I am not complaining. Alright, so do median again. I am not at all complaining about this. It did what I wanted it to do. I don't know why I'm so insanely happy about this. Out of curiosity, what does it do for this? It works. Let me zoom in more so you guys can see the difference. The difference isn't as profound on the bottom, but it does cut it back. Yes, I do have to convert this image to blue at some point. So the less, like, craziness that's going on in here, the better. And I'll touch up there in a second. So let me just do median again right here. And I know, like, this part probably isn't entirely aligned correctly. And at some point you just kind of have to let that go. So, zoom way in again, and we'll do the edges on this one. So we're going to turn our thing all the way back down to 4. And do the, I'm going to remove the top halves, because we don't need the top halves for this right now. And we're going to do the obvious bits. And I might have to come back in here later with opacity on the eraser, which is fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But, goodbye, star. Goodbye, whatever you were. From there, the seam isn't as obvious. But up here, I am going to need to, we'll do 75% again. I think once I'm done fiddling with this, I'm going to save, and we're going to call it a day here. Forget how to feather out. Yes, Hubble is still active. Hubble is still collecting data. I used to know much more about like Hubble's current status because when I was spending a whole lot more time at Youngstown State University, there are astronomers there who do work off of the Hubble, and I've tried to colorize their data, but not all Hubble data is pretty data, and I could probably give it another shot now that I know more of what I'm doing, but I typically go for images that have been taken with 3 filters instead of 2, and I know they did their stuff using 2 filters. No, JWST is supposed to be Hubble's replacement, and JWST is way behind schedule. Oh my, JWST is way behind schedule. And part of the issue is that JWST is just so big, it cannot be tested as one solid unit. It has to be tested in pieces, and like there is some testing that can be done when it's fully integrated, but some of the testing, like we have this facility here in Ohio that you can put something inside and you can remove all the air, and oh, thank you, the way it goes. I'm gonna throw dog treats for the dogs even though they're not here. See if they come running. Oh, there is one dog here. All yours, Tinker. She was just hiding. Alright, see if we can get a doggy on screen. There's a facility here in Ohio where they can put something inside, remove all the air, so essentially make it like a vacuum, like space, and maybe bring it down temperature, so to try, it does its best to simulate the conditions of outer space. JWST is so big that it won't fit, and like parts of it will fit, but not the whole thing. And I think it is being built at Goddard. Not sure. But, yeah. I have a feeling this is just going to look super obvious. No, it doesn't look too bad when I zoom out. So yeah. Yeah. It is beyond fashionably late, as Broken Symmetry pointed out, and it has problems. It has 501 deficient bolts. These are bolts that are not strong enough. They were found to be not strong enough for another Northrop Grumman project. There have been pieces that have been installed upside down. Morale apparently was so bad at one point that was actually one of the things that they had to, you know, have a remedial action on in one of the reports, which scares me a little. And there are over 350, there's definitely over 300 single points of failure on the JWST, which means if any one of those 300 individual things fail, the entire spacecraft is just dead in the water, so to speak. So it's big, it's complicated, and things of that nature. Oh, thank you again, the way it goes. And make it rain. Tinker is so happy. Thank you so much. And yeah, so that it is a concern. It is a concern. Yeah, weak bolts, installation errors, poor morale, over 300 points of initial failure. I don't remember when it was supposed to initially launch, and like that, it's a rabbit hole that I've gone partially down and I've backed out of because it's depressing and sad, and I try not to think about it too much. I don't have any work that's going to be dependent on JWST, but I know that there are a lot of astronomers whose, you know, work is going to be dependent on getting this done. So, and when you have literal time pressure, which is, you know, if you remember when you were back in school and you weren't always the promptest about getting things done, or if you've had deadlines that you've just not met on time, you know that pressured feeling that you feel? That's time pressure. And that has been a source of problems as well, just time pressure. So, oh, okay, so obvious line is not so obvious anymore. We're going to erase this part because that is obvious to me when I zoom out. Tinker is so happy. Thank you again so much the way it goes. She's so happy that she doesn't have to share with Puck. Speak of the devil, there's Puck. Alright, cool. Obvious line isn't so obvious. I could probably feather out the thing more. I just don't know. I don't know what any of that does. What's this? Oh, that's symmetry. I could probably turn down opacity a bit more. And work in this area. Make it not so obvious. I kind of wish I had a bamboo tablet to do this, like a Wacom, just a cheap Wacom tablet, as I'm using my trackball, and it's not impossible to use my trackball, it's just, I feel like I would do this so much faster if I had a pen. The sad thing is I know there's one at YSU that's not being used, but because it's university property, I can't just be like, yo, can I has this? Oh, did I bungle that up so bad? I may have bungled that up really bad. Alright. Obvious line is kind of obvious. So, what if I make this larger? And I don't... Because this is what we're kind of doing at this point, is blending. Not that much. Yeah, it's the GWST essentially cannot fail. It cannot fail. I'm apparently using the smudge tool right now, which I am not at all upset about. Which it's not so bad when it's up in here, but it's obvious when I use it down there. So not so bad there. Like that works well there, but it's obvious everywhere else. Just kind of a bummer. Yeah, there's no fixing it. Like Hubble has been fixed in orbit. There's no fixing. There's no fixing. Oops. There's no fixing Hubble. There's no fixing GWST. There's just not. What? I don't understand what this does. Oh, this is another... They're like, yeah, this is an eraser, but when you go and mess with it, it's not an eraser anymore. Like, oh, okay. All right. We are working, there are solar sail propulsion things going on. I just don't know how well they work. Yeah, I think that's what we want is soft round. Maybe not 127 pixels, but... Oops. Why is it using it as a smudge tool? There we go. This is what I wanted. It was just to erase. Looks like I've had enough of this. I'm gonna go get on the couch. That's enough. Dogs are like, but Mom! Gosh, has it been a year? It feels like it hasn't even been that long. Like, they just launched it. Like, they literally just launched it. Okay. There's no obvious line. I mean... There's still an obvious line here. I think that's because I erased a whole bunch of stuff, but let's just... Oops. Let's just do this real quick. I think we're gonna finish up with these touch-ups and then I'm gonna be done for the day because I got other stuff to do today. Okay. It's like, I know it, like, I know they just did light sail, but, I guess it has been a year. I forget how long I've been doing this sometimes. Astro Wise is like, I can feel my soul dribbling out of my body. That's probably not a good thing, Astro Wise. What, did you think you were getting bits, Puck? Did you think somebody felt bad for you and was just going to throw bits in your way? Alright, there's still obvious line. Which I'm annoyed by, but... Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. It's a lot to keep up on top of like everything else I do. There's just a lot. I could spend days, weeks just reading, and y'all are great, but I like playing video games too. Alright, let's see if this makes obvious line less obvious. Well, it's a little less obvious. And there's still a line over here. But you wanna know what? Let me open up last week's, just so we can have a comparison. I think we did make some progress. Alright, so this is what we were dealing with last week. And then let me zoom this out to compare or comparable. And this is what we have this week. Most of the differences are subtle, like there's no longer super obvious lines, like that one big obvious line is gone. You can still tell that there's a seam here, but it's not as bad. Like most of the really obvious seams are gone, which is good. And I guess to remind everybody, go back to the very first thing. And this is what it looked like when I first started working on this. So we've been working on this for about a month now. And my goal is to have this done before I move. So, honestly, guys, if this gets done before I move, I probably won't stream again until, I'm settled into the apartment on Sundays, or we'll do something pretty chill and laid back on Sundays instead. Things that I can do in one session that I know I can do in one session. But this is what I started with, and this is what I have now. Unfortunately, this is only one layer out of 3. So I still want to work on this. Let me switch out my tool so it's easier. I still want to work on this seam. And like I still need to fix the seams and the other ones too. So now that I kind of know, oops. I need to fix the seam there, and I need to fix, oh no, we worked on that seam, sorry. And need to fix the seams on this one. So even though, and this one has a lot more of that artifact, so it's not going to be as easy as just completely erasing it. Same thing with this one. I don't know why it wasn't showing up in the other. I guess, did I not? Oh, sorry, it's layering things. But yeah, like I still have these other 2 layers to do, which is going to be very frustrating, I feel. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Compared to this and this, I think we're getting there. Hopefully soon. This is not going to be anywhere nearly as nice, I feel, as the one that they released for AAS. But as far as I know, I don't know of anyone else that's working on this just to work on it. But that's okay. That's okay. All right, so we're gonna save this because save, always save. I'm happy with how today worked out. I'm very happy. I'm grateful to Sammy to being like, hey, just have both of the layers up and erase, and because that makes a world of a difference. All right, so let me switch scenes around here. So yeah, that has been today's Science Sunday, and as Astro Wise says, yeah, this is very time consuming and fiddly image processing. Why do I have an alert? Whatever, I'll figure it out. Maybe that's why my dogs were freaking out. Is that why you were freaking out? They're like, yeah, sure, whatever, Mom. But yeah, I will see you all soonish. There's a rocket launch. Let me look up when the rocket launch is. After making all that stardust. I mean, I could eat. So, there's a rocket launch. Oh, they changed it. Awesome. This makes my life so much easier. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a rocket launch on Tuesday. No. The rocket launch is now on Wednesday, and I'm not streaming on Wednesday. So, yeah, I don't know when I'll see you again, but I will... Hi, Ska. I will see you all soon. I don't plan on streaming on Wednesday. I'm going to take the day and go visit my grandfather and run errands and things of that nature that I just haven't had a chance to do. And yeah, there will still be Rocket Roundup. Dr. Pamela is going to stream, so Dave and I are going to write the script, and Dr. Pamela is going to present. So, thanks, Raj. I hope it gets better soon too, because trust me, not being able to move boxes when you're trying to move is super annoying. Super annoying. And Star Strider should be streaming later today. I don't have the calendar up, but I think she's painting today. And I think if you're an Astronomy Cast Patreon, she also holds office hours. But I think those are on Zoom and not on Twitch. So it's not like a subscribers only thing. Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being awesome, because you all are pretty freaking awesome. And I will see you all soonish. Until then, wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful insert time of day here, and keep being awesome. This has been a production of PSI, that's Planetary Science Institute, working in collaboration with Youngstown, Ohio, here in... It's probably cloudy outside. I don't know. Youngstown, Ohio. PSI is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here because of you. So thank you, everyone, for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah. Bye.